Good morning, everyone, and welcome to week 5 of Catalyzing Action in Complex Systems. This week we're looking at mapping and tapping polarities, and we're kind of delving into the polarities or seeming opposites that are inherent in any complex situation. And the idea really is that these are paradoxes that we need to live with and manage rather than problems we need to solve or kind of either or things that we need to choose one of. Um, in this course with you over the last 4 weeks, particularly in reviewing your systems map and your other homework by participating in the World Cafe with you and in my office hours last week, I'm noticing some polarities in our system that I thought I would just point out, and some of them I've pointed out before. But this idea that the Salvation Army is inherently living with the dance of kind of hierarchy and participatory mindsets. So, um, this kind of sense of there is a very strong top-down, expedient army-like culture that has been established over time, and there is a real move within society, within the congregations, and from the leadership to suggest that the leaders need to learn how to be more participatory, and there needs to be more kind of bottom-up engagement. Um, I think I'm calling it action reflection, but I think there's this sense of how busy everyone is and how it's very hard to tear yourself away from all the travel and all of the multiple hats you're wearing and all the huge amount that you have to do to take um, time for this period of reflection and learning. Um, and 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 some of you have the luxury of doing that more than others, but that's obviously like a real tension in this course is um, are we getting stuff done, or are we able to kind of step away from those things to invest in this learning opportunity, and really no judgment, just knowing that it's there as a strong creative tension for all of you. Um, I would say just in terms of this like systems mapping thing, I'm seeing a big thing around a kind of a process perspective versus a systems perspective, both of which are valid, but which are kind of quite different, maybe not opposites. But a process perspective, which is really looking at these are kind of the steps that I need to go through to kind of make something happen. And a systems perspective, which is really trying to kind of zoom out, understand some kind of underlying causes and unintended consequences, and looking at things more uh, just in a different perspective of kind of like different variables in flux, which are having unforeseen impacts on each other, and how do we start to kind of understand that lens. And so those are kind of two different perspectives which are there, and maybe needing to be distinguished so that we can really understand systems thinking. And then I think another one that's come up in kind of your reflection on the spiritual divide, and your reflection just on this kind of work-life balance and the prevalence of burnout in your systems, this kind of creative tension between there's so much to do and getting it all done and being effective and having an impact and uh, spreading the word of God, doing your important work and having a feeling of accomplishment, and then this sense of kind of stepping back and having self-care. And obviously that's not an either or. That's a kind of a creative tension, but one that tugs at some of you. And then I would just say, in reaction to this course, I feel like I'm kind of seeing two sides of a coin. One is which is kind of like almost like, yeah, I've done a lot of this before. It's a kind of a nice refresher. It kind of shows me that I'm already on the right track. And then for others or at other times, there's a kind of sense of real aha, and this is something new. And this is obviously a kind of a very um, common paradox, is this kind of like everything's kind of fine and it's working, or we need to change. And so that's one of them that's here a little bit. So just to kind of give us some examples of those paradoxes as I talk about this week, which is really, there's an article and two videos which are really going to look at a tool for how you can kind of map polarities. And so that means that we take these two sides and not see one as right or wrong, but see them both as part of the whole situation. And we look at both the kind of upsides or positive aspects of both and the downsides or the negative aspects of both, so that we can see the whole picture, so that we can understand that they're both there and we don't need to pick either or kind of draw battle lines and get on either side of them, but that we can kind of learn to maximize the positive in both and avoid the negative, or avoid the undesirable state that can come from both. So I've sent out the partner assignments by email. I'm also going to send them out. I'm also going to kind of put them below this video. Please, if you can, do this with a partner. That will really help. If you don't, if you can't find a time to work with your partner, it's fine to do it on your own. It's also fine to come and join me in my office hours on Thursday. Details below. As always, if you have any questions or thoughts, get in touch and have a wonderful week. Goodbye.